Was you entertained? Well, that's what I like to hear.
It's going to be round 13. We're going to be picking up exactly where we left off.
This is something I've wanted since the day after.
Down it goes! I said I would like to see it again. We're going to have to see it again now.
Artur Beterbiev!
I need another belt.
Bivol!
It's a demolition job!
I will fight for my goal, for belts.
All about them numbers, baby.
All I think about is just winning fights. The belts will come.
There's no stopping me. I'm going to be like a man possessed. I can dance, I can shimmy, while broken down in a jiffy.
Two of the very best in the sport, Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, haven't given much away this week. It has been strictly business for both of them, and the biggest prize of all awaits the chance to become undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. Well, a fight we are all very much looking forward to. Both Fabio Wardley and Frazer Clarke are full of confidence as they head into their highly anticipated rematch. History will be made in a world title showdown between Nicholson and Chapman. Opetaia looking to continue his cruiserweight dominance against Massey, but Massey is full of confidence and is looking to spoil the Aussies' party. The surgeon Ben Whitaker was built for the big stage and is looking to put on yet another show. And after a year out of the ring, Eubank Jr is back and has been ever the entertainer out in Riyadh this week. Yeah, today it is the final time when the fighters face off and hit the scales ahead of a monumental fight night coming your way live from the Kingdom Arena in Saudi Arabia on Saturday nights. Hello there, good to see you. What a card we have coming away on Saturday night. It is stacked from top to bottom. Of course, we had that seismic, undisputed light heavyweight clash between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. And I can tell you now, I have two guests in the studio that are absolutely salivating at the action to come on Saturday night. Matt Christie and Johnny Nelson, good to see you, chaps. Matt, these are the fights we've all been dreaming of, and they are they're finally happening.
This fight we've been dreaming about for a long time. Yeah. We throw the term 50-50 around a bit too often, but it fits this one perfectly. It is a superb matchup.
I know, and it's one that has got everyone talking. Everyone's minds are chopping and changing from week to week, Johnny. I know you're very much looking forward to as well the highly anticipated rematch between Fabio Wardley and Frazer Clarke. It was epic last time we saw them back in March. What are you expecting? Do you think we're going to have round one of part two, or are we picking up from where we left off? Is it round 13?
Round 13, Anna. I did the gloves off with these boys, and nobody's backed off. You know, both fighters have learnt so much about each other. I can remember watching the fight before we recorded the gloves off again, and I was exhausted watching it. I thought, these guys, for heavyweights, the pace they're going at, they left it in the ring, and it was like, I'd say even the damage you get in one fight, that was like 4 fights in one for these guys. And so now they're going to pick up again and step it up again. I think Frazer Clarke has now put himself in a position to say, I was shattered, I was gassed, now I know what I've got to do. Fabio, he's thinking, actually, I didn't do bad there, I can do better than that. Fabio doesn't think it's going to go the distance. He intends on trying to stop him.
We've got plenty more to discuss about that fight, and we would love you to get involved at home as well. Tell us who you think is going to win and how. It's very easy, in particular about those top two fights that we've just talked about. Scan the QR code and get involved. Right, we're in London, but over in Saudi having all the fun is, of course, Andy Scott and Matt Macklin.
Well, finally, weigh-in day is upon us. Fighters going to step on the scales very, very shortly. Matt Macklin, let's start with Beterbiev, Bivol, the perfect clash of styles.
Definitely, you've got I would say the most fearsome man pound for pound in boxing in Beterbiev. 20 fights, 20 wins, 20 brutal KOs. And then you've got Bivol, who's just a master technician. Fantastic boxer, great feet, and just, as you said, a fantastic clash of styles.
We'll get a chance to see them on the scales very, very shortly. But in terms of Bivol, can he stay away for 12 rounds, not get caught by that power, and use those boxing skills to turn it in his favour?
That's the $1 million question.
I'm good at them, Matt. I'm good at them. Let me ask you about the big boys. Fabio Wardley, Frazer Clarke II. If it's anything like the first fight, we're in for an absolute treat. What are we looking for on the scales from them today? We've seen them earlier in the week and they look in terrific shape. Today will confirm that.
Well, the talk is that Frazer's come in a little bit lighter. He's worked more on conditioning and to be light for speed. So it'd be interesting to see if that is actually true. But I guess both guys, they look in fantastic shape. Not just physically, the way they've conducted themselves and spoke all week. They seem razor focused, but also, not overthinking it.
British interest in Sky Nicholson and Raven Chapman, but also Jack Massey fighting for his first world title against Opetaia. That could be an intense stare down. Plenty more to come as well. Eubank Jr and Ben Whitaker, much more.
Thanks, Andy. It's been a fun fight week, hasn't it? In terms of Beterbiev and Bivol, Beterbiev barely says anything. Bivol, not much more. Matt, does that matter at all? This fight pretty much, it sells itself, doesn't it? They don't need to do the talking outside of the ring.
They don't, because they do their talking inside the ring and they do it so well. I can understand the concerns from some of the promoters out there that perhaps Beterbiev in particular hasn't said enough.
There was a bit between Eddie Hearn, wasn't there, and Beterbiev at the press conference. It was interesting.
But ultimately, Beterbiev, he's always been like this. Bivol has always been like this. I find these kind of characters fascinating. They're so confident in different ways and they ooze that confidence. They don't need to say much more than they say to be pretty terrifying. Beterbiev in particular.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people are talking about it being the puncher versus the ultimate boxer, but Johnny, there's so much more to this than that.
Yeah, there's. I think Beterbiev, you've got to ignore the age, because the older you get, you've got to pace it, and he just gets better and better and better as the rounds go on. The pressure gets higher and higher and higher. For Bivol, he punches long. He's happy to work at a pace. So now you've got two clever boxers that know the game inside out. If you looked in the dictionary for boxer, you'd have a picture of both fighters. That is what a boxer is about. So now it's about skill, pressure, pace, and I think it suits Beterbiev down to the ground. This is one of those intriguing fights. If you know your boxing, this is one of those fights that, will it go the distance? If it does, it'll be a grueling one.
That's the question, isn't it? In terms of other fights that we're looking forward to, we touched on it at the top. Of course, that rematch between Fabio Wardley and Frazer Clarke. I mean, that again is also intriguing, because are we going to get more of the same? Is it going to be as grueling, Matt, as it was the first time around? Because sometimes rematches, they don't always deliver. But in this one, you just get that feeling, don't you, that it could be more of the same?
You do get the feeling it could be more of the same. It's a really interesting question. I mean, we look at rematches after such violent fights, and sometimes there's some mental scars that are left over. Do they want to go back to that dark place again? But I think in order to win, one of them will have to go to an exceptionally dark place to get over the line. It's another fight that's really genuinely hard to call.
Johnny, in terms of who answered more questions for you in that first fight, who did?
I think, Mike, the word you used, violence, there was exactly right. Violence. Who learnt more? Frazer Clarke is a clever student of the game, and he've learnt a lot more about himself. Adjustments, there are more adjustments in Frazer Clarke. He's got to improve his fitness, his pace, and I gather he's coming a little lighter.
But both fighters admitted that they were, struggling with the pace, and they were sort of blowing.
Well, I think for Fabio, it was doubt.
Yeah.
Because he's not gone past 6, and all of a sudden, but all of a sudden now he's in a high pressure fight with a guy that's supposed to know the job, and then he's thinking, actually, I've not done bad here. And looking at the fight, I can remember watching it thinking, this is brutal. But then I always thought, looking at the fight, Fabio was the one that looked like he could hurt Frazer more than the other way around. Now, what will change? Fabio will go in there with more intention, belief, thinking, I know what I can do to you, I'm going to step it up.
Well, you did the gloves are off, didn't you, the second time around with both of them. Do you feel like any of them got the psychological edge in that one?
If I had to say it, I'd say Fabio. Fabio's arrogance was enough to wind up Frazer. Frazer knows how hard he has to train.
Okay, right, as you can see, the fighters are making their way onto the scales, so let's rejoin Andy Scott to talk us through the weigh-in.
For the challenger, Liam Cannonball Cameron.
Liam Cameron, 12 stone, 6 pounds, 6 ounces. Callum Simpson joins me now. Liam looked good, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked great, mate. It looked great. Was in good shape. You know, I've seen him have a few fights at light heavyweight, and he's had a few stoppages. Obviously, he lost in a close decision against Lyndon Arthur. I've not actually watched that fight, but apparently put on a good account himself.
And Ben Whitaker's got that big frame, Matt, but he looks ripped and ready. 12, 6, 9 ounces.
Yeah, looks shredded. As always.
Tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round contest for the IBF International Light Heavyweight Championship.
What are you expecting from this, Matt? Because in truth, Whitaker was pretty dismissive this week, wasn't he? He said, "This will not be my toughest test."
Look, I think Cameron will definitely stick it on him. He won't be afraid of him. He'll take the fight to him, and I think that will bring out the best in Ben Whitaker. I think we'll see the best we've seen of Ben.
Do you think that Liam Cameron has the mindset to not be affected by the showmanship of Ben Whitaker, Callum?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. You know, I've seen him around. I've seen him at fight week or week at the hotel, and he looks quite relaxed. Don't really seem nervous. You know, he's been on the big stage before. Maybe not as big, obviously not as big as this, but you know, he's very experienced. So I'd like to see he can keep his head.
What would you like to see from Ben Whitaker?
Maybe not as much showboating and backing up his talk. You know, he was saying big things before he fought Ezra, saying he's going to knock him out early, going to give him a beating, and that never happened. And he's been saying the similar things with Liam Cameron, and so we'll see if he can back it up.
Not surprising, Matt. Whitaker has got plenty to say to Liam Cameron.
Yeah, I think he's enjoying it being up there. He believes he's destined for superstardom, and that Cameron's just a step along the way.
Callum was just saying that Liam has got the right temperament to not be bothered by the showboating, the verbal attacks, everything all week. He has cut a pretty relaxed figure.
Yeah, as much as that's part of his persona, it's also a bit of a tactical ploy. Goad his opponent, make them get angry. If they're angry, they'll load up. You'll see it coming in. You can make them pay, but I think Cameron's too experienced for that.
So Ben Whitaker has that perfect record, 8 wins, 5 of those inside the distance. We are going to hear from both fighters. This is Todd Grisham with Liam Cameron.
Beterbiev of Sheffield. What were you and Ben saying up there to each other?
He was just saying he can hear me heartbeat, but he was shitting his then. Do you know what? The talking's done. I'm not a talker. Ben's the talker, I'm not.
You know, it was 18 months ago. You were battling with demons. You were in the back of an ambulance. You thought you might die. You said you were going to turn your life over to boxing, and look where you are right now. What does being here mean to you?
Oh, it's everything. Ben thinks I'm scared of him. I've been way worse than that.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you very much.
Let's send it over to Liv.
Say again, Todd.
Thank you very much, Todd. I mean, Ben, Liam just said there to Todd that he thinks you were scared as you were facing up, looking at him face to face.
I think the perfect thing was on. I ain't never scared. You know what I mean? When you work the way I work, preparate the way I preparate, there's no reason to be scared, especially when the Lord's on my side.
What was being said between you two up there?
I could see that heart beating out his chest, but at the end of the day, the work's done, the talking's done. It's go time tomorrow.
And what have you got planned then for the next 24 hours before this big fight?
Go back to the hotel, play a bit of Uno.
Love Uno.
What can I say? Then whoop that boy tomorrow. That's how we're going.
Thank you very much. Good luck, Ben.
Thank you very much.
So Ben Whitaker, Liam Cameron, over 10 rounds at light heavyweight.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round contest. It will be for the women's WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger, coming to us from High Wycombe, England, bringing an undefeated record with 9 wins. 2 of her 9 wins coming by way of knockout. She is the current women's WBC International Featherweight Champion, the Omen, Raven Chapman.
So as Thomas Triber said there, Matt, she's undefeated. 9 wins, 2 of those inside the distance. This is her first shot at a world title. But boy, oh boy, has she cut a really confident figure, and her whole team.
Yeah, she's almost convinced me that she's going to win. The confidence is real. She's certainly not going to stand the outside watching Nicholson. She's going to stick it on her.
Now undefeated as a professional with 11 wins, 1 win, coming by way of knockout. Here is the reigning and defending Women's WBC Featherweight Champion of the World, future Undisputed, Skye Nicholson!
Callum, Skye Nicholson's put that pressure on herself with the future Undisputed tag, but she seems to have the right temperament to deal with the big occasion.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, she's been on plenty of matchroom shows before, very, very big occasions. And I think maybe similar to myself, where she performs well under pressure.
Okay, Raven Chapman making her way to the scales.
$125.9 for the challenger, the Omen, Raven Chapman.
So 8 stone, 13 pounds, 9 ounces.
Now to the scale, the defending world champion, Skye Nicholson.
And here comes the champion, Skye Nicholson. Let's listen out for the weight.
The same as her opponent, 125.9 for the defending world champion, future Undisputed, Skye Nicholson.
So nothing between them on the scales, Matt, and really on paper, okay, Skye Nicholson's got the World Championship experience. This will be her second defence of the title, but you get the impression that there isn't much between them.
No, I don't think so. Both full of confidence. Whoever can dictate the terms now win the fight. I think Chapman knows she needs to get close. She can't stand the outside and give Nicholson time to use that good jab that she's got.
Yeah, this one has been described as the boxer against the brawler. Raven Chapman, with the tag of the brawler, she said, let her think I'm going to be the brawler and she'll be surprised.
I think for me, the boxer always beats the brawler, but we've seen plenty of upsets before and plenty of times that, you know, the brawler can win. Like I say, I think she's going to put that pressure on her, but I know a lot of her past opponents are coming straight lines, so I think for Raven, she needs to use the angles and make it a lot harder for Skye.
So Skye Nicholson 11-0 against Raven Chapman 9-0. It is the WBC featherweight title.
There we are. This isn't just a normal fight, Raven. This is the first ever female world championship bout in Saudi Arabia. How does it feel for you to be making history?
Yeah, it feels amazing. It feels like such an honour to be able to be here, make some history. It's not often you get to do that these days, so I'm trying to make sure I go down in the history books and become world champion tomorrow night.
You've predicted a knockout. We know you have the power to do it, but it's hard to lay a glove on her. You've seen her fights in the past. How do you intend to get inside and to punch her in the face as hard as you think you can?
I'll show you exactly how I do that tomorrow.
Look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
All right, over to Olivia.
It got a little bit tense, especially at the press conference yesterday. Do you like it when that happens?
It's definitely new territory for me. I want to thank His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh for this opportunity to be here. I know we have a very empowering position on Saturday night. Tomorrow night, it's finally here. Can't wait.
And you still got a huge smile on your face. What makes you so confident that you are going to beat her?
I trust my preparation. I know what I'm capable of, and now it's just time to do the job. I can't wait for tomorrow night.
Good luck tomorrow, Skye.
Thank you.
Well, stay with us after the break. We'll be back with more fighters weighing in on this tremendous Riyadh season undercard.
Hello, welcome back. Well, we are midway through the weigh-in at the moment over in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. We're going to be heading back out there very shortly. So far, we've seen Nicholson weigh in, we've seen Chapman weigh in, we've also seen Ben Whitaker and also Liam Cameron weigh in. Next up, we have, of course, that amazing cruiserweight that's coming away on Saturday night, Jai Opetaia, who is up against Jack Massey. A really fascinating cruiserweight clash, this one. Let's let the fighters get on the scales, and we can hand you over to Andy Scott to talk us through the rest of this.
And now let's welcome from Brighton, England, his professional record, 33 wins, 3 defeats, with 24 of his 33 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a former British champion and former IBO super middleweight world champion. Here is Chris Eubank Jr.
Matt Macklin in true Eubank style. He's really sort of made the press conference and the open workout about him, hasn't he, with some of his attire and some of his apparatus that he had with him?
Yeah, well, he definitely dressed for the occasion, didn't he? But I think he's glad. One of the more happier fighters on the undercard to get the weigh-in out of the way.
Okay, let's have a look at Kamil Szeremeta. Callum, we'll wait to hear what the weight is first.
159.12 for Kamil Szeremeta.
So 11 stone, 5 pounds, 12 ounces. What have you made of Kamil Szeremeta this week?
It looks in great shape. You know, I've never actually heard of him before this fight, but I've done a bit of research on the 2 losses against, I believe it's Munguia and Triple G, which there's no shame in that. And obviously I know they both stopped him, but
the same as his opponent, 159.12 for Chris Eubank Jr.
11 stone, 5 pounds, 12 ounces. Yes, sorry, Callum. He is a former European champion as well. What do you think he has to do to try and put a dent in Chris Eubank Jr.?
I think just do it normally. Does box savvy. I don't think that Chris is someone that's supposedly unorthodox, but it's best on doing our normal fights. But again, you know, he's been on them big shows before against Triple G and Munguia, so I don't think this will affect him.
And Matt, what do you want to see from Chris Eubank Jr. on the flip side?
I'd like to see him, if he can get the knockout, go for it, don't just coast. I'd like to see him go through the gears. If it's on the card, you know, obviously it's not a given. He looks in fantastic shape, absolutely shredded to the bone.
This is Eubank Jr.'s first fight since the Liam Smith revenge in September last year. Junior also got involved in, I don't know if we can call it a minor scuffle, a war of words in the hotel lobby with Conor Benn. Callum, where were you? You're supposed to be separating them.
I was actually in the gym. I was at the Mike Tyson boxing gym getting some training in. The only place I am over here, to be honest. But yeah, I hope that's not affected Chris Eubank mentally. I don't think it will do. But you know, hopefully it's fully focused this fight and can worry about Conor Benn after.
Okay, we'll take a brief pause where hopefully we're going to hear from both fighters.
I mean, Chris has literally just said to me, we're doing an interview, I'm going to take my shirt off. So we've got a shirtless Chris Eubank Jr. Chris, you've embraced this culture all of this week. Just tell me what fight week has been like for you.
It's been a roller coaster, but it's been fun. It's been, the weight cut went well. The interviews went well. The press conferences went well. Everything's gone perfect. Now all I have to do is get in that ring and do what I've been preparing to do my whole life, which is take guys apart in style.
I was going to say, it's not just about winning, but making a statement tomorrow night.
It's about looking sexy. That's it. That's all I got to do.
And just finally, I have to ask you about the Conor Benn incident. From your point of view, what happened today?
From my point of view, that little insect is a cow. Was cutting weight, dehydrated, and malnourished to come and step to me. And he showed his true colors. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about Conor Benn. I'm not thinking about that guy. I got to go out there and I got to deal with this tough opponent in Kamil Szeremeta. After I've dealt with Kamil, Connor's next.
Good luck tomorrow night, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Chris Eubank Jr. focused fully on tomorrow night. Next up will be Jai Opetaia and Jack Massey, the IBF Cruiserweight title up for grabs. He's a very intense individual, Jai Opetaia, isn't he, Callum?
It's very intense. Definitely one of them you've got to remind him there's no swearing when you're going live. Definitely.
Now you're talking my language. You're on the broadcast team. I like to hear it. What about Jack Massey? What an opportunity for him.
Massive opportunity, and I think it's well deserved as well. You know, he put in a great performance against Chamberlain. He's been waiting for his shot. He had a good performance against Jolly Parker. Good account of himself. So that's an opportunity for him.
The world. Let's first welcome the challenger coming to us from Manchester, England. He brings a professional record consisting of 22 wins, 2 defeats, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current EBU European and Commonwealth Cruiserweight Champion, Jack "One Smack" Massey.
Here comes Jack Massey ahead of his first world title opportunity. But Matt, crucially, he's here on merit.
Oh, big time, he's European champion, he's earned this shot, he's fired up, his team are fired up, they believe in him, and most importantly, he believes in himself.
Defending world champion from Gold Coast, Australia, a 2012 Olympian, now undefeated as a professional with 25 wins, 19 of his 25 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current Ring Magazine champion, and tomorrow night, the reigning and defending IBF Cruiserweight champion of the world, Jai Opetaia.
Callum, how impressed have you been with Jai Opetaia from what you've seen?
I've been massively impressed. You know, I've only heard of him since the Real season started, but since then he's put on some great performances. But for me, I don't know. You know, the fight against Zorro, I think that was expected. It wasn't a high level fighter, but yeah, but I've been impressed so far.
Here's Jack Massey.
199.12 for the challenger, Jack "One Smack" Massey.
199.12, 14 stone, 3 pounds, 12 ounces for the challenger, Jack Massey.
For the defending world champion, Jai Opetaia.
So just lighter than Massey by a pound and a tad for Jai Opetaia, Matt.
Yeah, but they both look in fantastic shape. I'd be surprised if whether this goes a round or if it goes 12 rounds, I'd be surprised if this is any other than a brilliant fight.
One of the great stares in the business, Jai Opetaia, but Jack Massey holding his own here. I wonder if they will look away. Just about.
Yeah, neither man wanted to give an inch there.
You're close with Joe Gallagher. They do believe. What do you think their tactics will be, briefly?
I think, look, you know, Jai Opetaia, the faster hands, the quicker feet, the southpaw. You know, early doors that poses problems to Massey, but Massey can get into the fight, get his time and get his distance, and then push on in the mid rounds and obviously into the second half.
So here we go. Let's hear from both champion and challenger.
I'm here with One Smack Jack. A lot of hype, obviously, around Jai Opetaia. Are you buying that? Is he as good as everyone seems to think he is?
We'll see on Saturday night. Tomorrow, that'll tell.
Yeah. So what's it going to take to beat him? What do you have to do?
Just have to beat myself and get in there and fight. You know, that fire burning in my belly, that's going to give me the push. And just do what I do best.
You saw in his last fight, he struggled in the championship rounds. He seemed to run out of gas. If it does go to rounds 11 and 12, how prepared are you to step up there and finish it?
I always finish strong. Every fight I finish strong, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to drag him into deep waters, and that's where I'm going to get him. I'm going to punish him.
Can't wait to see it. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Liv?
Thanks youngster Jai. I mean, did you hear what Jack said there? He thinks by getting in the ring, being himself is enough to beat you. Do you think that's enough to beat you?
Man, I'm pumped. You know, I'm ready to put on a show. We've done the trenches. We've been in the hard work. I'm ready to go to war.
He says if it gets to the latter rounds, that's where he's going to get you.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Skills pay the bills. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to be a tough guy, but skills pay the bills.
I mean, it has been pretty respectful between you two. The belt is there, but it's more than just a belt. It's about taking that belt home to your daughter, isn't it?
It is. It's for our families. And I see the look in his eyes. He's got that same hunger, so it's going to be a good fight.
Good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you very much.
So Jai Opetaia, Jack Massey, that it really is a cracker, as will this next fight, surely. Matt Macklin, Wardley, Clarke II.
Yeah, like we've been saying all week, haven't we? This is half as good as the first one. We're in for a cracker.
Just while we wait for the fighters, who do you fancy at this stage? If I put you on the spot, Callum.
I'm going to have to go for Frazer Clarke. You know, I thought the first fight was very close. I agree with the draw, but I think Frazer might have underestimated Wardley the first one, but hopefully learn from the mistakes in the first fight and can correct them and get the victory.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a rematch. It is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the British Commonwealth and WBA International Heavyweight Championships. Let's first welcome the challenger, coming to us from Burton-on-Trent, Staffordshire, England. A 2020 Olympic bronze medalist, now undefeated as a professional with 8 wins, 1 draw, 6 of his 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Frazer, the Eraser Clarke.
The crucial stat there, Matt, he is undefeated. Both fighters now have that draw on their record. They want to change that draw, although it stays where it is, into a win.
Yeah, look, I think whoever makes the adjustments, who can tactically get it right, that's going to be the guy who wins this fight.
And now let's welcome the defending champion from Ipswich, England, bringing an undefeated record with 17 wins, 1 draw, 16 of his 17 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending British Commonwealth and WBA International Heavyweight Champion, Fabio Wardley.
And Callum, a man a lot like yourself, he's got the whole football club behind him. For him, Ipswich, obviously for you, Barnsley, it does make a difference. I know we're away from home, but he has got tremendous support.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you come away to big fights. You want to make people back home proud, just like I make my hometown proud. You know, we're doing the same for us.
First,
okay, so it will be Frazer Clarke to the scales first. Let's listen out for this weight.
For the challenger, Frazer, the Eraser Clarke.
So 19 stone, 5 pounds.
Now to
for Frazer Clarke.
Defending champion, Fabio Wardley. For the defending champion, Fabio Wardley.
17 stone, 3 pounds for Fabio Wardley. So there is a sizable weight advantage for Frazer Clarke to be expected. And to be fair, both look great there.
Yeah, definitely. Look, he's over 2 stone heavier, I believe, and you know, he is the bigger man. Wardley a bit more athletic, but the big thing for both of them is, in this fight compared to the last one, they've both been 12 hard rounds now, and they've got that experience, and it's whoever paces the fight better this time could be the guy who wins.
So Frazer a fraction heavier than the first time round, and Fabio a couple of pounds lighter. Let's just watch these two now go face to face. Just feel like maybe the energy has changed between these two. Yes, all smiles, but a serious stare there at the start.
Yeah, definitely. Very cordial all week, a lot of respect. But yeah, that was a bit of intensity there. That's the last time they'll see each other before. The next time they come face to face, they'll be across the ring from each other.
And brilliant to see that handshake as well. When you share a fight like that, Callum, I can only presume that you punch respect into each other.
Yeah, I think 99% of boxers, you know, the shake hands after a fight, and especially after what they had the first fight, how come they have respect for each other?
Okay, let's hear what both had to say, starting with, I think, Frazer Clarke.
All right, Big Fraze, your fight earlier this year, a Fight of the Year candidate. What's the build-up to this fight been compared to that fight?
It's been a good build-up. You know, I think two good characters, me and Fabio. We've done what we can out here to promote the fight. We've talked question after question after question, and now it's time to do the business, get in there and actually fight.
Do you expect this to be a barn burner beat down like it was last fight, or do you think this will be more definitive in your favor?
It's definitely going to be more definitive in my favor, but it's a fight, mate, no mistake about it. There's a lot of professional rivalry here. He wants to win, I want to win. There can only be one, and I'm going to give it my absolute all to make sure I go home with them titles.
You said in one of your previous interviews, it comes down to who's improved the most. What will we see in the ring tomorrow night that you will show us that you've improved?
You have to wait and see for that one, my friend. I can't give all the secrets away.
No secrets.
No chance.
Well, best of luck to you, Big Fraze. Okay, let's send it over to Olivia.
Thank you very much. I mean, no secrets on Frazer. What are we going to see change from your game in particular, Fabio, from that first fight?
Yeah, look, me and the team we've looked through the tape a lot of times, and there's some minor adjustments to make. I felt like I had a lot of success with the way I fought, that first fight and the way it went. So yeah, there's going to be some adjustments, but look, with me, you know what you're going to get, entertainment, and I'm not going to be on the biggest stage at one of the biggest events and on one of the biggest cards and not deliver. So Saturday night is going to be fantastic.
I mean, you mentioned one of the biggest fight cards, one of the biggest fights, Riyadh season. What have you made of all of this?
Yeah, look, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I said yesterday at the presser that I was privileged enough to be at the opening of Riyadh season the first time year on, and like I say, we're a year on now, and it just gets bigger and bigger, and the lights, the camera, the stage, it gets more and more grandiose. So again, I'm just honoured and privileged to be here, and I'm looking forward to the main event as well.
I think everyone else is looking forward to your fight especially, and the main event. Thank you so much, Fabio. Good luck.
Thank you.
That promises to be a cracker. Stay with us, because after the break, it's Beterbiev and Bivol. Riyadh, where we are nearly there, the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Callum Simpson, Matt Macklin still with me. Callum, I want to come to you. You've sparred many rounds with Artur Beterbiev. Is he as terrifying as he looks? What's it like being in there with him?
Probably a bit more terrifying, to be honest, mate, as hard as that can be to believe. But yeah, an absolutely amazing experience for me going over there and sparring and learning from an elite world champion. You know, and just, I think everyone's underestimating his actual boxing ability. I think they're more focused on his ridiculous knockout ratio, but the man can box. You know, he's had 295 amateur fights, Olympian. He actually beat Usyk in the amateurs as well. So yeah, he can box, not just a massive knockout artist.
As tomorrow night, Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority proudly presents an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment, culminating in an evening of history as undefeated champion faces undefeated champion for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. Promoted by Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Bob Arum's Top Rank Boxing, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, along with Gold Star Promotions, World of Boxing and Sella, sponsored by the Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudi Airlines, New Murabba Development Company, and Lucid Motors. And special thanks to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian to the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, His Excellency Yorki Al Sheikh. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the weigh-in for the main event. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled as undefeated faces undefeated for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. Coming first to the stage, bringing a perfect record of 20 fights, 20 victories, 20 wins by knockout. He is the reigning and defending unified WBC, WBO, IBF, undefeated light heavyweight world champion, Artur Beterbiev.
He hasn't said much all week, Matt, but truthfully, when you look like him and fight like him, you don't really have to say anything at all.
Exactly, he's fighting, his knockout punch power does all the talking for him. Vicious champion.
And now let's welcome his opponent. Also an unblemished professional boxing record of 23 fights, 23 victories, 12 big wins by knockout. He's the reigning, defending, unified WBA, IBO, undefeated, light heavyweight world champion, Dmitry Bivol.
Brilliant reception for Dmitry Bivol. What have you made of his demeanour all week? Ice cold.
Ice cold, you know, they've both been ice cold all week. Not too much to say in the press conference. Well, I think they've got a little bit out of Beterbiev more than normal, but you know, that hasn't too much to say. I think they're both boxers that like to do their talk in the ring.
And this is the first time we've had some atmosphere. It makes a big difference.
Definitely a big difference, you know. Everyone asks me about coming out to Riyadh. It's an amazing atmosphere, but it's not quite Bally Town Centre.
Representing the WBA and the IBO, undefeated as a professional in 23 fights, 23 victories, 12 wins by knockout. On the scales, the undefeated Dmitry Bivol.
Let's listen out for the weight, Matt.
174.12 pounds. Next onto the scales, his record.
So 12-6-12 for Bivol.
20 fights. 20 victories, 20 big wins by knockout. The unified WBC, WBO, IBF, undefeated light heavyweight world champion, Artur Beterbiev.
Here comes Beterbiev.
174.9 pounds for Beterbiev.
3 ounces lighter for the WBC, WBO and IBF champion Artur Beterbiev. Nothing between them on the scales.
Nothing between them, and there'll be very, very little between them in the ring on the night.
Well, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. The first undisputed light heavyweight title fight of the full belt era.
A moment in boxing history. It's been 25 years since we've had an undisputed light heavyweight world champion.
That is His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh in between the two fighters. And here we go, Matt.
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and a night of boxing history.
No handshake between the pair, perhaps not unexpected. And people are getting tired of us saying it, but I'm going to say it once for luck anyway. The best fight that can be made in boxing, and we're seeing it tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 top operators at the top of the game, both undefeated. Someone's always got to go, as they say.
This is what big time boxing is all about, live on Sky Sports Box Office. We're going to hear from both fighters. Looks like we're going to start with Dmitry Bivol. He's on stage with Todd Grisham.
Do you know what's funny, Addy? As you've come to me, Artur just looked at me and said, "We'll see." So that might be the answer to most of these questions. But Artur, how has fight week been for you?
Good, like usually.
What's your favourite part about these weeks? What's your favourite part about these weeks leading up to the fight?
Favorite part is fighting.
What can we expect from you and this fight on Saturday night?
Like I said, we'll see.
I was expecting that. And people probably want to know, you as a fighter, what do you do between now and tomorrow night? What are your plans for the next 24 hours?
Be quiet and getting ready to fight.
Artur, thank you so much. Good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you very much.
I am here with the other unified light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitry Bivol. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I've ever seen you this relaxed before a fight, and yet it's the biggest fight of your life. Why are you so chill right now?
I'm always like this. I'm chill, but I'm focused also.
You said your entire life you've been preparing for this moment. Now that it's here and you look back on your life and your career, what does this mean to you to have reached the apex?
It means a lot, but at the same time I'm just trying to forget about everything what I went through. I say thank you for everything, for everyone, and now I just focus on Saturday, and I just need to eat right, sleep, and be ready on October 12th.
Can you sleep before a fight like this? Is it hard to go to bed?
No, to be honest, I got used to it. You know, I'm in this field since I remember myself, since 6 years old. I'm fighting. I'm in this mood. I have to sleep.
A lot of fighters say they treat every opponent the same. In preparation for Beterbiev, do you treat this fight camp and this opponent the same as you have every other fighter?
Most of it, yeah. Most of it the same, because all my opponents I respect very well. I was preparing them for 100%, and for this fight also. I was trying to reach my limits for preparation. I was working hard.
You've got a lot of fans here that have come all the way to Saudi Arabia to watch you fight. What's your message to them right now, the eve before your big fight?
Yeah, thank you guys. It's my friends from all over the world, from Russia, from Kyrgyzstan, from Moldova, from everywhere. And thank you guys for supporting me.
All right, best of luck to you, Eddie Hearn. If we can get a word in with you real quick. There's mega fights, there's big fights, but as far as 50-50 fights, I'm not sure we've had a fight like this in recent memory. What's your take on just the matchup between these two?
I think you have no two experts with the same pick. You know, you've got a lot of travelling fans turning in now. Anyone here for Artur Beterbiev? Small. Anyone here for Dmitry Bivol? Okay.
Anyone here for Eddie Hearn?
No. Listen, this is a generational great fight. The best fight in the light heavyweight division for decades. Two ice-cold competitors. And, you know, for me, this is an opportunity for Dmitry Bivol to achieve a lifelong dream. He already slayed the pound-for-pound king in Canelo Alvarez. This is a bigger fight. This is a bigger night. This is what he wants more than anything. Get ready tomorrow night for an incredible card, top to bottom. Riyadh season explodes October 12th. Right next door in the Kingdom Arena, don't miss it. I believe that Dmitry Bivol will be the undisputed world champion tomorrow night.
We shall see live on DAZN tomorrow night. Let's send it back upstairs to Otto.
Live coverage on Sky Sports Box Office gets underway from 5 p.m. on Saturday night. The event is available to Sky residential customers and also non-Sky customers via the Sky Sports Box Office app in the UK and Ireland. Virgin Media and EETV customers, please contact your operator. Go to skysports.com/box office for more information. So, guys, we've seen them both weigh in. Matt turned to me and he said, I've still got no idea who you've got. It really is one of those fights, isn't it, Matt?
It really is. You know, I think the pertinent question might be not who can you envision winning, and this is the difficult one, who can you envision losing? Can you see Beterbiev just being outboxed for so many rounds and not being able to close the distance? Can you see Bivol being knocked out trying to claw himself off the canvas? I can't envision either of those two things. I can see them both with their arms raised because we're conditioned to see them winning and winning handsomely. But trying to think who's going to lose, I'm struggling with.
That's a brilliant way of looking at it. Johnny, who've you got right at this point going into the fight?
Don't be surprised if there's a draw. Because these guys are that well matched. But if you've got to pick somebody, I'm giving my reasons why I'm going for Beterbiev. I just think the age isn't the issue. I think his style...
You don't think that is an issue? I mean, no, 39, 40 in a few months. He's carried a fair few injuries. The reason this one was postponed in the first place was for that meniscus tear. Obviously, we saw him against Callum Smith absolutely blow him away. But could that be an issue, do you think, at all?
I don't. If anything, he's going to try and prove something to himself. But this young man here, this young man you're looking at, he hasn't got an ounce of fear in him. And so he's the first person that's going to go up against Beterbiev to say, right, you have got a fully fledged fighter in your hands. The reason why he's not got an ounce of fear, he's the only man I've seen bar Floyd Mayweather go with Canelo Alvarez and do what he did with such confidence and control. And so I think with these two fighting here, you've got two units that fully believe in themselves, got all the skill in the world. Ex-champions like myself look and think, you know, you look up to these fights because you think this is talent, this is class. If you know you're boxing, this is the kind of fight you want to sit down and watch and just enjoy.
I wonder if you'll change your mind between now and tomorrow night. We shall see, we shall see. In terms of Wardley Clarke, we saw Frazer, he's coming a bit heavier this time for the second fight, 5 pounds heavier. And also, well, Wardley slightly lighter, 1.5 pounds for him. What does that tell us? I mean, is that a good or a bad thing, do you think, for Frazer?
5 pounds, given the size of him, is not a great deal. But I was thinking that he probably would be a bit lighter. Yeah. It's never...
That was the chatter in the week, wasn't it?
It's not always a great sign, but £5 is £5. And also, we have to consider this. We've spent an awful long time over the years analysing the weigh-ins of heavyweights and jump into all sorts of conclusions that sometimes are wrong. But we'll see. I mean, I was surprised that he was heavier, in all honesty.
What do you think, Johnny? Does it concern you in terms of, I guess, in the first fight, both fighters, the pace of it, the brutality of it, both have said how tough that was. Being that slightly a bit heavier, does that worry you?
It does surprise me. Because of how the fight went, you'd think he'd make sure that didn't happen again. And I think putting weight on, it's got to happen again if you're going to try and fight at that pace. So you're thinking, I'm going to put more weight on, so I've got more power in my punch, so I've got more to push forward and lean on you. I don't know, because he easily negated his way through the fight. Fabio easily negated his way through the fight, and the weight and the size of Frazer. It doesn't make sense. I think if I was working with Frazer on this, I'd work on pace, consistent pace to work at, to step it up. You know what you've got to improve on. You've got the intelligence to adapt it. For Fabio, he now knows he can work at a heavy pace for 12 rounds, and he knows he can hit Frazer Clarke. And so both fighters have learned.
Just going the distance for Fabio in that first fight, because he hadn't been beyond 6, how much confidence that will give him, I guess, going into this fight.
And that's what I'm saying. They both learned so much about themselves, and so that's why this is picking up at round 13. This isn't a rubbing it off. It's round 13. We're back on it again.
What about Wardley's cut? Could that be cut in the nose in the first fight? The scarring there, is that a concern? Could that be an issue?
I would say it has to be a concern. We've seen it open up before.
He's dismissed it a lot, hasn't he, Wardley? He said, it's not going to be an issue. Don't want to talk about it.
I don't think it will be a psychological issue for him. But we don't know if that opens up early and it gets worse. We don't know if the referee's going to say enough is enough. I certainly don't think it's bothering Wardley from a psychological point of view, though.
OK, if I had to push you, Johnny. This is my favourite part.
Can we have the conversation tomorrow? I've got to sleep on it.
No, absolutely not on this one. Come on.
Oh, man. I think Fabio... The reason why I think Fabio is because I saw him hurt Frazer a lot more than Frazer hurt him. I think Fabio now knows what he's capable of doing. Whereas Frazer, I'm just surprised he's put the weight on. I don't get the method behind the madness, but he'll probably tell us that after the fight. Sorry, Frazer.
Matt, very quickly.
I'm going to have to go for Fabio Wardley, I think, purely from what I saw in that first fight.
OK. Well, we haven't got long to find out, have we? We have just one sleep to go. Not long at all. We cannot wait. The talking is done. They face off for the final time. It is all eyes on Fight Night, and we would love your company. We shall be on air from 5 o'clock on Sky Sports Box Office. We shall see you there.
Some fight nights have everything. Rising stars. Boxing royalty, big rivalries, big punches, big heavyweights, and a clash of kings.
2 generational greats fighting for every single belt.
Every time Artur gets in the ring, he just goes to terminate.